Okay, let's just give this a few seconds to load. Then hopefully we can get another recording up. So what is up, guys? This is me, Zero Kills. And today I think I'm going to be making a Rafa guide. Guide to Rafaela. This is just going to be a matchup mode, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. Oh, and also shoutouts to Zara Rose for pressuring me to actually make a guide for Raf. I think it's been a decade or so since I last made a guide, and I'm too lazy. But anyway, let's go. Also, shoutouts to Exo White Beard, this saber guy right here. Oh no, not him. That guy sucks. This one, because we're playing in different servers, and he's the one who hosted. So I played this game with like 160 ping or something, but it doesn't matter. And yeah, just everybody spamming initiate retreat. So troll. But anyway, here's how I start. Right. So Rafa, first of all, she's a healer and also really, really good at kiting, right? And kiting means slowing down enemies and speeding up your teammates. So the end goal is, well, the early goal is to get as much harass as possible because people say Rafa is kind of weak in the damage department, but she's really good at keeping people alive. So you'll notice from the start that that's just what I do, right? I spam my first skill to get as much damage as possible, push the wave, and I do that so I can head back to the jungle and farm. You'll notice that as a support you don't really need that much gold in the start, so what I do is just before the creeps die or the jungle, I head out so that all of the gold and the EXP goes to my Ruby, because it's really important, of course, that when you're supporting someone who can really make plays like a Ruby, for her to get level 4 as much as possible. Raph doesn't really need the level 4 advantage as much because she can like hold her own, just healing and kiting and doing the same thing over and over again, just in very, very small um, bursts of damage, right? As for items, you'll notice that I just get like 4 of those mana regeneration thingies. The reason why I do that is because none of the other items are that great on her early anyway, and it helps with all the amount of heals and first skill spams, at least in the early phase of the game, because that's where Rafa is the strongest. So here you see, you'll notice that I got level 4 late, which is really okay, because that made Saber use the Purify early. Because you'll have to notice that if I were also trying to take the EXP from these jungle camps, Ruby wouldn't have been level 4, and she wouldn't have been able to like force Saber to use a Purify. Um, so we have a Saber right here, no Purify. Pretty ripe for the kill, but I'm not sure if we're gonna get it. Are we? Yeah, I think we do. No. Oh, we okay, we do. Um, You'll notice at that part also that I positioned my ultimate just a bit below where I would normally do it, because I was expecting Akai to push the saber to my ultimate anyway. Like that's what Akais do, right? They leap over the enemy and then they push them back with their ult. So yeah, it's not like me intentionally missing. It's like me making an active choice to position the ultimate just below where I would usually position. So here I get rapid boots. I head back to lane ish, because I see that the enemy Moskov is kind of overextended. So I'm like thinking, yeah, maybe we could probably kill the guy, right? Um, I'm just trying to zone him out of his escape options, but this is pretty much over. Like if Ruby pulls somebody in and I have my stun up, it's like one of those wombo combos where people just die. Right here, I make a small mistake of like missing out on the heal range because I was trying to help my Moskov get some health back. And it's pretty much the same thing. Like, always stay away from enemies, but don't do that in a way that you're never there to poke them, right? You'll notice here, even if it's a bit risky, I just go in, try to bait them into doing something, because even if, for example, if Saber ults or the enemy Franco hooks me, I do have my Purify to get out just in case. For items, I would suggest going for 40% CDR usually. You'll notice that I do have enough mana regen to almost have an infinite supply of mana. Um, Not sure if my Akai was lagging here, but he wasn't able to use his ultimate. The first core item that I usually get for Rafa is enchanted talisman, because it gives all the stats that she needs: a little bit of ability power, some mana regen, and what else? Cooldown reduction. I think we make a little bit of a mistake here because I kind of like overextend, I guess, because technically I could really go away from there, right? I should have just gone back, but nope. So we end up giving three or four, two, or probably three kills to the enemy. That's all right, because if you can see, like we're still ahead in gold by about 1,000. And as for levels, let's see, the highest they have is the strongest character right now is a 2/1/2 saber, but ours is a 2/0/0 saber with better items, if I do say so myself, because Hunter Strike really helps, and the boots just for the mobility, so you can roam and yeah. So yeah, but back to me playing Rafa. Normally you just want to support your teammates as much as possible, right? But it doesn't mean that you can't make any plays. People say Raf support sucks because she's not fit for the meta and the damage is kind of low. But I would kind of disagree because her first skill, even though it does low base damage, it offers a lot of DPS, so to speak, because it's always on anyway. Like it's just on a really short cooldown. So you can see, like, see, um, even though I am a support with no damage items, I still do contribute to the overall like scheme of things, right? Me just trying to do stuff. Oh, and one more tip. You don't really have to wait until somebody's damaged before you use Raph's heal. Like I know it sounds stupid to do so, but do keep in mind that her passive gives her heal a move speed boost to all of the teammates around her. And that's very, very strong when you think about it. Because in League of Legends, it's like having a mini Sivir ult every few seconds or so. And having heal also allows you to tank a few turret shots, if that kind of matters. So it's gonna be really helpful when you want people to like signal a tower dive or something, right? Here, I'm not really scared of getting killed because I think I have enough cooldown heals and regens to keep myself alive anyway. Um, yeah, and then just hanging in the back while my teammates are like setting themselves up for a kill, and nothing much is happening, right? I'm not even scared of the damage because I know I could get low, but I'm not gonna die. So I just try to stay in the fight as much as possible. Again, supporting my teammates because they're the ones doing the most damage, and I get a lucky ultimate there. It hits the Minotaur, and then I move. I get lucky there too because I almost got caught by Franco's hook, but hey, that's awareness for you, right? Like it's just general advice at this point that when you're dealing with a Franco, he's always gonna have his hook up. Hey, hook up. No, he's his hook up. So you just have to play around that. So it's more of a player versus player thing rather than champions going against each other, because you're just baiting the enemy Franco to like throw a hook and then waste it on hitting nothing, so to speak. Right here, you notice that I see the Moscow at the bottom lane, so I'm trying to chase him, but for some reason this saber, this white beard right here, he wanted to farm instead. So boo. Although he does get off a nice ultimate, just not enough for us to finish him. But it still serves the purpose of like leaving Moscow weak, so he can't really contribute to anything. Like if a fight would supposedly break out anytime soon. Uh, it's standard stuff right here. Nothing's really happening. Oh, but Ruby gets a hook. Whitebeard goes in, goes ham, and that's pretty much what you do as Raf. Like if one of your teammates goes in, you gotta be really on point with your response as well, because Raf generally has the a very predictable initiate. So people in higher ranks will just back off when they see Raf. Like you'll be very very lucky if you just throw a raw ultimate from afar and then hit people. Right here, I just kind of positioned myself near the Moscow, but I kind of saw that he was overextending, but I guess we kind of baited the enemies because they have two tanks right there, but the three of the other teammates were just at the base. So it was more of the enemy being um not prepared for the situation than me playing well. But then again, see, that's kind of what a raffle would do again, right? If one of your teammates engages or is caught out, you gotta be on your best um, awareness or something like that. For the items, you'll notice that I'm gunning towards getting Dominance Ice at this point because it provides another 20% cooldown reduction, so you'll have your skills up very, very fast, which has a lot of benefits because you don't really need that much magic power on Rafa because I think it's mostly on a one to one AP ratio anyway, and it starts off. I mean, the values for the heals and the damage are already high, so you would need a truckload of magic power just to be able to get the same healing value you would get from say a standard 40% build. And this saber right here is very funny because he really wants to give the blue to me, even though I don't really need it, even if I have 30% and mana cost and all, because I just think that with the way I build Rafa, at least with Dominance Ice and maybe Enchanted, no, Enchanted Talisman and then Dominance Ice or Fleeting Time, I am never put in a situation where I run out of mana. Because I see most drafts, what they do is it's kind of a mistake, but you could take it with a grain of salt. It's just my opinion. They tend to go for magic increasing items early, but not enough mana regen. So what happens is, while they do have more burst, heals, and damage, they don't have enough sustain to keep the fights going. I mean, to keep the laning phase in a situation that is favorable for your lane. Because well, in this case we got really lucky because it's just Ruby and me versus a Saber. But typically when you're fighting against 2-on-2 bot lanes, for example, or just soloing, like you're 1v2ing as Rafa, what you want to do is put yourself in a situation where you can stall the game for as long as possible. Because 1v2, Rafa will generally lose, but it doesn't mean she will die. Like she can hang back, play defensively, and tank a few hits from the minions so that you're never put in a situation where the enemy can push, right? So you kind of just like stay in front of the tower a little bit. Like for example here, you kind of want to stay. Wait, let's see. Right, if you're here, you want to stay at this point, somewhere here, then tank the minions while your tower kills everybody. But it's just that thing. So I'm gonna go back to the game. Okay, so now 6,000 gold. Kind of. Well, technically, you're already done at this point. Like when you have dominance, 40% CDR and a lot of heals, you don't really have to do anything except just um, heal your teammates, slow people, stun them when they're like how do you call this? When they're clumped together, and then keep backing off, moving forward, backing off. It kind of gets boring at this point because you don't really get to do that much. Like, see, I do my ultimate, I purify when I'm in danger, and then I heal out, I slow them again, and I stick in the battle, see if somebody's going in. But this Moscow is going ham right now, so instead of just leaving him, even though I think the situation was kind of unfavorable a bit, I still go anyway because like yeah, that's your role as a Raf. But remember, you don't want to be put in a situation where you overextend, so you just go into the fight, but not so much into it that you risk dying. Because this build, while it offers some armor and a lot of cooldown reduction for the heals, means I still don't have enough HP to survive any burst. You do have Purify for that just in case. So you always want to keep your one of your fingers near the Purify button if things go already or things go out of hand. Purify and then heal out, pretty much. The next item which I would recommend at this point, even though I haven't gotten it yet, is typically Frost. It's an item that slows people down when they get hit by magic skills. So, but the thing is, slows in this game, for the most part, they stack additively. What this means is, instead of say two 30% stuns, just rounding up to around maybe 50 or 49%, they stack additively. So it's really good. Like if you have 30% slow and then another 30% slow, the enemies slow down for like 60%. It doesn't work with all slows, but for Raph, I kind of tested it and it works with Frost. So your first skill already slows, and it's on a 2.4 second cooldown with 40% CDR. And since Frost lasts for about 3 seconds, it means that you can slow a whole team down so hard. So as long as they're not the type to have like a bunch of hard CC, or they have no reliable gap closing abilities, say you're up against an enemy Johnson who just uses ult, then you can kite for your or peel for your marksman very very reliably. Like notice how slow that Smia became after getting hit by Ruby slow and my slow plus the frost. Um, yeah, it's pretty strong. It's almost like you're rooting them, so to speak, and not just slowing them down. Because it's almost like a guaranteed kill, to be honest. So you'll notice in some of the situations, I am the one tanking the turret damage, but you just get out when it's like getting very dangerous to stay. But again, same thing here. As long as I can tank the turrets and not die, I'm okay with it because it makes the minions able to push the lane faster. And this is what I do here, right? I notice that four of my enemies are dead, so I use the ultimate on the creeps because it's already over at this point. Like I just want my team to push and end the game. So hopefully that does get recorded because it's like 13 minutes or so of me talking, I think. But I'm just gonna end there. No, well, I'll just show the stats in the end. I think one of the enemies was AFK. And if you look at the data for like damage dealt, it's pretty low. Like one of the lowest, I'd say. But it doesn't mean that you're ineffective. Because if there was like a marker for healing done to teammates, then my raffle would probably be skyrocketing right now. Let's see. Back. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoy the guide and have a good day.